So I just had this totally random idea that just came into my head. I was watching TikTok, and if this guy that reviews cars, he was reviewing the most fuel efficient non-electric vehicle in America. And it's like whatever, it gets 60 miles to the gallon. And I instantly had this thought of like a conspiracy theory. So I'm going to throw it out here for you guys. Also, before we start, it is day 97 since the Russian invasion of Ukraine. It's not over. It's not going to be over. And please don't forget about that. But this idea just came to my head. So I'm like, a lot of the times when I have ideas for episodes, I literally put them in notes in my phone. And I'm like, okay, I'll come back to that and we'll, plan out an episode for it. But for some reason, I was just watching this TikTok and I instantly just was like, nope, I'm going to do a short little episode on this. So it is a conspiracy theory. It just instantly popped in my head, though, because I saw this. So what if, dating all the way back pre-pandemic till today, like world leaders, governments, they've all been trying to figure out how to, quote, control the masses. And I just am like, what if it's all just like little experiments, test runs to see what they can do, how far they can take it, what they can get away with. And so like, obviously the big trial run was, okay, well, there's going to be a pandemic. We're going to have people, quarantined in their homes. We're going to restrict travel, which, by the way, it's very interesting to me that most countries in Europe are pretty much open, regardless of whether you're vaccinated or not anymore. And the US still has not changed that. We talk about how the economy is so bad, but we're not willing to open up for more tourism. It's kind of a side note, but anyway, so I just kind of thought like, okay, let's spin off of this, like controlling the masses conspiracy theory. And when I watched this TikTok, I just thought of like the power grid and its relation to our dependence on it, right? And one thing that like kind of sparked my memory was the Texas power grid outage, like when they had that winter storm, that random winter storm or whatever, and just how like kind of eye-opening that was to a lot of people. And I just got thinking like, what's interesting is, and for the record, I love the idea that like the ingenuity that's going into electric vehicles right now, like Ford F-150 Lightning, obviously all Teslas. The fact that Volkswagen wants to try to overtake Tesla in terms of electric vehicles, like to me, I just am fascinated with this, the way the technology is just rapidly developing. But it got me thinking, one of the big things that when Ford was in the process of debuting, releasing, promoting the Ford F-150 Lightning, which for those of you who don't know what that is, it's literally a completely electrified version of the F-150, okay? It looks almost identical. It's a very interesting take that Ford isn't trying to like break the mold for electric vehicles. It just says like, oh, we're gonna do our best-selling vehicle of all time, and we're gonna make it electric, and we're not gonna, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But they're trying to keep up with the times. But I'm thinking back to that whole power outage in Texas from the storm or whatever. And when Ford brought out its vehicle, one of the big selling points was you can power your house with the Ford F-150 Lightning for, I don't know, like 10 days if you're reserving it or being, I don't know, stringent. If you're using it sparingly, or you can straight up power the house for like 2 or 3 days, all out. And I just kind of thought about like, oh yeah, that's a good option to have. But just think about it though. If there's no way to plug these vehicles in and charge them without a reliable power grid, like how useful is that, right? And then it got me thinking, and I know, again, total like random conspiracy theory that I'm literally playing out the theory and the thought process right here with you, thus the roaming thoughts. But So I was watching this TikTok and talking about 60 miles to the gallon. And I just thought back, like, even 10 years ago, my first few vehicles were smaller, fuel efficient cars or crossovers. And the idea was because you wanted to conserve, basically, whether you were doing it to save the planet or you were doing it to save your wallet, either way, you wanted to conserve, right? And since then, I've like progressed to bigger and bigger and bigger vehicles now, and which thus it's been less and less and less fuel efficient. And with gas prices rising as much as they are, it just has me thinking, like, total conspiracy here. But like, we've exercised the pandemic controlling of the masses. We're going to try to keep them contained to their homes. We're going to try to keep them contained to their countries. And if there's going to be movement between countries, we're going to have X, Y, and Z laid out. We are going to be screening them. Like, so A, it makes it more difficult. B, we have a lot more information on them. And C, it's going to, in effect, lower the desire to go through the trouble of moving from place to place, right? Well, what if this whole, like, we're blaming high gas prices on Russia, which again is totally, like, does it have something to do with it? Yeah, sure. But like, for the US, for us to blame Russia for like bad economy, high fuel prices, like it's garbage. Okay, we could be energy independent. We were just very recently, so it is possible. But I do find it interesting that we are pushing electric vehicles like crazy. Okay, and we are pushing fuel efficient vehicles like crazy. But if we're having such an energy crisis and fuel prices are high and power grids aren't, up to adequate operating capacity, I don't know. If we're all on electric cars, let's just play this out. Let's just say we're all on electric vehicles and the power grid fails. Where are we going, right? You can't have vehicles, like, if there's no way to charge it, you can't go anywhere, right? And so then it goes back to the whole conversation of like, oh, well, that's fine. I've got a gas or diesel powered vehicle. I'm going to use that. But then the governments are like, yo, let's raise the prices so it's so ridiculous that we're going to push enough people into electric vehicles where we're going to be able to, again, manipulate the movement of people from place to place. I don't know. That was just kind of, like I said, I just randomly saw this TikTok on the Hyundai Ioniq hybrid, 60 miles to the gallon. And it just like popped in my head. I'm like, yo, what if this is just a big push to try to pull back the reins on people being able to move around, at their own desire, their own convenience. Now that I'm done saying it all, maybe it doesn't sound as like groundbreaking conspiracy theory, but I don't know. It was just a random thought. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to go do a quick vid on this. And yeah, so I actually do have quite a few other like concepts, video ideas, episodes that I've been planning on. So it's just taken me a little bit, but yeah, appreciate you guys for sitting around listening to this. I would love to know, like, if anyone thinks that I'm onto something here, or if you're like, yo, you sound straight up Looney Tunes on this. But I did find it interesting, like, gas prices rising, we're pushing electric vehicles. Like, does it have to do with one another? I don't know. But question everything, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with questioning everything. Obviously try to do it in a respectful way, but it's okay to question things. It makes you think outside of the perspective that maybe you're used to. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'm like a huge fan of electric vehicles. I'm super fascinated with them, the technology, the competition, how fast things are really being developed. But yeah, it just really got me thinking when I'm like, geez, we're back like 15 years ago, roughly, when it was all about fuel efficient vehicles and, you know, not wanting to spend a lot on gas. And I'm like, that's kind of like, is there something different going on here? I don't know. But I've got some other ones. I'm going to get into in future episodes. The Mandela effect. I've got a really, and this is kind of what started like the whole, this is why I literally jumped on to do this episode, because I know that I have this conspiracy theory about the Mandela effect that I'm going to try to work out a little bit more clean and polished up. So I have a direction for where I want to go with it. But when this one just popped into my head, I'm like, I'm going to do this one right away and just see like rough run. What is it like? But yeah, who knows? I don't know. Like I said, really, I would like to spark a conversation with anybody. Like, does anyone else have this idea, or do I sound completely crazy? And it is as simple as, you know, strains on the supply, oil supply, and, you know, just the desire to move to a quote cleaner form of transportation. I don't know, but yeah, I'm going to have one on the Mandela effect. I'm also going to have one on, and this one actually might go, I might like divert off of the Mandela effect in the same episode talking about Santa Claus. So it's really going to be centered around information on the internet. So I'm looking forward to doing that one. Again, though, what is going on in the Ukraine has not ended. It is like the story, the narrative has not changed. Okay, I know that we're seeing more and more countries throwing money or supplies to Ukraine in order to, you know, stop this ridiculous thing that Putin's got going on. I saw that it was like Lithuania or Latvia or Estonia had raised like $5.3 million within, I don't know, 24, 48 hours, basically to purchase a, I don't know, like an unmanned aircraft or something. An expensive piece of military equipment to help fight Russia. They raised it within like 24, 48 hours, something like that, and donated it. So that was a really cool story to hear. But like I said, I personally have had a hard time wanting to create content when I feel like so much attention should be focused on there. So again, I know I said like I'm not going to talk about anything other than that, but I'll call myself out on it. Clearly I just did, because I just went on a weird rant about the powers that be controlling the masses by health scares, fuel prices, and electric vehicles. So yeah, I'll call myself out on that. But I still want to, you know, take a minute and just bring attention to what's going on there. And that, again, I think this could be over if enough countries just actually wanted to do what it would take to make a difference. And yeah, I don't necessarily appreciate the US donating billions and billions of dollars and then like 3 days later asking other countries to donate money to us to help us fight an illness. So yeah, I don't know. By the way, don't even get me started on this. I'm not even gonna say the words, but with the little like bumps on your face. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. Don't get me started on that. We see reports of like, what was it, like 112 cases worldwide or something, and I'm not even gonna get started on that. That's a tangent. That's a tangent. There's already been a for it like multiple years ago. So again, I'm not even gonna get into that because that's just something else. But again, thanks for listening if you made it this far. I think I'll just end it right here. Be on the lookout for new episodes, whatever. Share with your friends. You guys can roast me, you can make fun of me. I don't really care. Like I said, I do it for fun, so I just want to do a quick one here. When I saw this hybrid vehicle, and I'm like, yo, what if? What if? It's just about like shrinking how far you can go, what you can do, blah, blah, blah. I don't know, whatever. Have a good rest of your day, you guys. And yeah, we'll catch you on the next one.